Think about human beings. The second closest relationship. The first closest relationship is a baby in the mother's womb for 9 months, nonstop. The second closest relationship, you see, is the act of sexual intercourse. People are inside of other people. And now, this perverse system has created something, say you can't do that. You can't do it because you feel it. You can't do it unless you think 10, 20 times about it, and then stop yourself. So this is going to change if human beings survive. If we as black people survive, it will change radically the nature of our relationships. But now some things happen to cause other things to happen. Sometimes something very serious has to happen for something else to happen. And you know how I talked about dependency deprivation? See, most of us are dependency deprived out of the system of white supremacy. A lot of us are sex obsessed. We can't do many of the things we need to do because we're focusing on sex. And now along comes AIDS. Says, I'm going to make you mature emotionally. See, we didn't know how we were maybe going to get to certain points of emotional maturation. But if we do the necessary discipline, see, I'm not talking about morality, I'm talking about fighting an infectious biological warfare weapon. Fighting back, countering white supremacy. And if we rise to that occasion, we're going to be well on our way. Because that discipline, yes, I can do without. I don't want to, but I can do without for a higher purpose. Do you understand? See, please pay attention. Please pay attention when you go home, go to your mirror, look in your mirror, and make yourself talk to yourself about AIDS. Talk to yourself about how are you possibly going to change doing something that you might enjoy. Try to think about the shape and the configuration of your lifestyle if you make the change in order to survive. You cannot look at somebody and say they look nice and they don't have the AIDS virus. I could have the AIDS virus. Can I have the AIDS virus? Sure. The person that I thought was nice, all they had to do is have sex with somebody who had had sex with somebody who had had sex with somebody who had had sex with somebody. Anybody sitting in this room that engages in sexual activity can have the AIDS virus. And think about this. How many of you saw the reports that people working in the hospital supposedly had blood got on them and they got the AIDS virus through their skin? See, they say AIDS is in the body fluids, but it's not in the saliva. How often do you brush your teeth and your gums bleed? Oh, my word. Do you understand? I mean, it is just that serious. Can't kiss. Can't just kiss anybody. This is really tragic. But if we don't focus on it, we're not going to be here to work for justice. So this is just in one area of activity: sex, you see, and war. Politics, we can call it politics too. Because what? Somebody over here said that we can stop these people with a virus. It's just like somebody over here said we can design some drugs. We can make a heroin. They think that it's the same old heroin. It's not the same old heroin. It's designer heroin. We designed it specifically for them to destroy some of their brain centers. Designer cocaine. Designer PCP. Do you understand? Somebody over here decided that this is a way to checkmate this group. So we have to modify if we are going to fight the war. And I say this, that stepping away from the issue about AIDS, that if every black person decides that they are going to go out and talk and communicate to other black people, we need to talk and communicate and say we're going to stop teenage pregnancy. I made a proposal in Washington, D.C., and I hope somebody follows it. I said every black child that gets the high school diploma without becoming a mother or a father should be paid $2,000 by the city. Do you see what I'm saying? Why? If we can stop having immature parents, we can produce children who are ready to learn at age 5, 4, 5, 6. We can produce children who are not going to be vulnerable to drugs and alcohol. And we can produce children who are not going to be vulnerable to sex obsession. So I say that any community, this is because a lot of people are motivated to have children. I can get a welfare check too if I have this baby. See, and we're not talking about bad people exploiting a welfare system. We are talking about a system of white supremacy that says I can make the people weak and dependent by doing certain things. And we have been conditioned, just like in formal slavery, people were conditioned, yes, Betty or whoever, Nanny, you have all those babies and I'm going to give you a little bit more fat back for making some more slaves. Do you understand? Where we were paid, given a little bit of dividend to breed and to stud. And so the welfare system is just the same thing, a little modification. So I say that in those situations where black people maybe can influence, we say, no, we don't want our children breaking down themselves, breaking down the next generation, so we want to motivate them to do the things that are going to be constructive for themselves and for us as a people.